Hare Krishna. Mataji, am I audible?
We are hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Om Jnanatinasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यं विष्णु स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका राधा कांचन नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम Ashwara Krishna Sankari Prabhupada Deva Shivi Raja Swami Sudatma Mahasudhani Previous Chapter. So we are reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, Chapter 7, from text 1. Text 141. It is only by devotional service, beginning with hearing, that one can approach the Supreme Personal Godhead. That is the only means to approach Him. By practicing this regulated devotional service under the direction of the spiritual master, certainly one awakens his dormant love of Godhead. This process is called Abhidaya. Text 140. If one develops his love of Godhead and becomes attached to the lotus feet of Krishna, gradually he loses his attachment to everything. Text 140. Krishnera charane hayagi anurag Krishna Vinonyatratara Nahira Hira. If one develops his love of Godhead and becomes attached to the lotus feet of Krishna, gradually he loses his attachment to everything else. Just give me 1 minute. I forgot to do something.
Mataji, you're on mute.
Mataji, you're on.
Muted. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
This is the test. This is a test of advancement in devotional service. As stated in Shrimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42, Bhaktir Pareshanubhavo Viraktir Anyatra Cha. In bhakti, a devotee's only attachment is Krishna. All right. His only attachment is Krishna. He no longer wants to maintain his attachments to many other things. All the Mayavadi philosophers are supposed to be very much advanced in the path of liberation. We see that after some time they descend to politics and philanthropic activities. Many big sannyasis who were supposedly liberated and very advanced have come down again to materialistic activities, although they left this world as mithya. When a devotee develops in devotional service, however, he no longer has attachments to such philanthropic activities. He is simply inspired to serve the Lord, and he engages his entire life in such service. This is the difference between Vaishnava and Mayavadi philosophers. Devotional service, therefore, is practical, whereas Mayavad philosophy is merely mental speculation. All right, Shashi, you want to read? Text 144.
Sorry, I have a question. He said,
Yeah.
Prabhupada says, therefore, devotional service, therefore, is practical, right? How far is it practical? A devotee has only attachment for Krishna. Not really like that, is it?
What is it?
He no longer wants. No. In the last sentence,
Oh, last
we have
sentence.
devotional service, therefore, is practical. I don't know
Oh,
how
meaning that
practical it is.
the practical
A
meaning
devotee's
that,
attachment.
yeah, very simple. Practical meaning that, see what's happening in the Mayavadis. They are doing the sadhana, all right? So they are convinced in the beginning about what they are doing. They're reading the books, so you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. But after some time they get bored. How much time, all of us here, how much time can we sit and read books? Right? So there is variety in devotional service. So therefore we say, okay, you cook for Krishna, you go to the market, you choose what you want to cook. You go to the market and you buy, cloth for Krishna, you buy, lace for Krishna. You go and you find somebody who will stitch the cloth, or you yourself, you do it. And then you choose jewelry for Krishna, right? So many practical activities that you can do in devotional service. And all of it is for Krishna. Whereas the Mayavad, they have nothing to do, right? They don't accept the Lord's form. So there is no question of going shopping for Krishna, right? So meaning, so what do they have to do? So since they have nothing to do in Krishna's service, therefore they look here and there, and they end up doing philanthropic work, meaning let me serve other human beings, or let me serve the animals, or let me serve the plants. Because meaning they have left out their impersonal God, because there's nobody to serve.
So if you want to relate this to the first sentence, right? A devotee's attachment is only to Krishna. He no longer wants to maintain his attachment to anyone. It seems unpractical, but because what you just said, there's a variety. So we are attached to Krishna in some way or the other.
Yes. So
Okay.
a devotee's only attachment is Krishna, So even with family members, so we get involved with them. But then when they are not interested in Krishna, how much time can we give them? So we give them only as much time as is required, and then we do our own other things.
Edit. Thank you.
Mm. Text 144. Yeah, okay. Shashi, you want to read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
No.
Panchama Pushasartha Sei Prima Mahadana Krishnari Madhurya Rasa Karaye Ashwadana. Love of Godhead is so exalted that it is considered to be the fifth goal of human life. By awakening one's love of Godhead, one can attain the platform of conjugal love, tasting it even during the present span of life. Purport. The Mayavadi philosophers consider the highest goal of perfection to be liberation, mukti, which is the fourth perfectional platform. Generally, people are aware of four principal goals of life: religiosity, dharma, economical development, artha, sense gratification, kama, and ultimately liberation, moksha. But devotional service is situated on the platform above liberation. In other words, when one is actually liberated, mukt, he can understand the meaning of love of Godhead, Krishna Prem. While teaching Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stated, Uti Mukta Madhye Dulabha Eka Krishna Bhakta. Out of millions of liberated persons, one may become a devotee of Lord Krishna. The most elevated Mayavadi philosopher can rise to the platform of liberation. But Krishna Bhakti, devotional service to Krishna, is transcendental to such liberation. Srila Vyasadeva explains this fact in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2. Dharma Prujita Kaitavo Tra Paramo Nir Matsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Sivadam Tapatriyon Mulanam. Completely rejecting all religions which are materially motivated, the Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are pure in heart. The highest truth is reality, distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. Srimad Bhagavatam, the explanation of the Vedanta Sutra, is meant for Parmo Nirmatsaranam. Those who are completely aloof from jealousy. Mayavadi philosophers are jealous of the existence of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra is not actually meant for them. They unnecessarily poke their noses into the Vedanta Sutra, but they have no ability to understand it because, as the author of the Vedanta Sutra writes in his commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is meant for those who are pure in heart. Parmo Nirmat Saranam. If one is envious of Krishna, how can he understand the Vedanta Sutra or Srimad Bhagavatam? The Mayavadi's primary occupation is to offend the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. For example, although Krishna demands our surrender in the Bhagavad Gita, the greatest scholar and so-called philosopher in modern India has protested that it is not to Krishna that we have to surrender. Therefore, he is envious. Since Mayavadis of all the different descriptions are envious of Krishna, they have no scope for understanding the meaning of the Vedanta Sutra. Even if they are on the liberated platform, as they falsely claim, love of Krishna is beyond the state of liberation, a fact stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and repeated here by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Hare Krishna.
All right. So, okay, now we're going to read this passage and see what Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching and Prabhupada is elaborating. So, love of God has it so exalted that it is considered to be the fifth goal of human life. So, what is this fifth goal of human life? What is it referring to?
Pancham Purushartha Krishna Prem.
Yeah, and so what are the Purusharths?
Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha are the four Purusharth, meaning the goal of human life.
Yes. So if we are a human being, then we perform our we set we're human beings, so we have a goal in life. All right. So right now the goal is only Artha and Kama. But in a Vedic civilization, there is dharma, meaning my pursuit of sense gratification and economic development is dharma, is done in a dharmic way. And hopefully, after some time, if sufficiently experienced in the material world, then I may want moksha. But, so, the Mayavadi philosophers consider the highest goal of perfection to be mukti, meaning the fourth one, right? Moksha, mukti. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, no, there is something more, which is prema. Panchama Purushartha se prema mahadhan. It's a greatest wealth. Mahadhan. It is the greatest wealth. See, arth means meaning or gain. So to have love for Krishna is the greatest gain. It gives meaning to your life. If we are following dharma only for sense gratification or to earn money, and when we are fed up with all of that, because actually finally nothing works, and say, okay, let me go moksha, meaning mukti, all this become insignificant. It has no value in front of prema. So devotional service is situated on the platform above liberation, meaning that nobody will want to achieve prema unless he's already liberated. What does that mean, liberated? Meaning he has no desire for sense gratification. This is a real liberation. No desire for sense gratification or any endeavor for sense gratification. So in other words, when one is actually liberated, mukta, then he can understand the meaning of love of Godhead, Krishna Prem. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his teaching to Rupa Goswami says, Puti Mukta Madhye Durlabha Eka Krishna Bha. Among millions of liberated persons, one may become a devotee of Lord Krishna. Meaning there are so many people who are enough of this material world. They want to give up everything. So they do give up everything. So they roam around as sadhus. But to find one such person who becomes a devotee of Krishna is very rare. So Durlabha, the most elevated Mayavadi philosopher, can rise to the platform of liberation. But Krishna Bhakti is higher, is transcendental to such liberation. So here Prabhupada is quoting from this famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vatstavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapa Prayonmulanam. Completely rejecting all religions which are materially motivated, meaning all this dharma, it's religion, but it is materially motivated. How is it materially motivated? Because we want either artha or we want kam. So it is materially motivated. So Bhagavatam is rejecting all such religious paths. So this highest truth, this bhakti, is understood by those devotees who are pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. So I'm not going to get into all this, what is reality, what is illusion, because we've already spent huge amount of time studying what is reality and what is illusion. Do you agree? The whole Mayavad philosophy is about illusion, right? So I'm not going to discuss anything on this point. If you want to remember, go back and study the previous texts. So the highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. So we have said that enjoyment in this material world is illusory. Krishna is real. His activities are real. And any activity that we do in devotional service is real. So the highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold misery. So we are suffering because our misunderstanding about what is the truth, what is illusion and what is the truth. Srimad Bhagavatam, the explanation of the Vedanta Sutra, is made for Paramo Nirmatsaram, those who are completely aloof from jealousy. So we can understand Srimad Bhagavatam only when we are free from jealousy. So according to you, who are we jealous of?
Krishna.
Yeah. Yes. And what's the proof? What's the proof we are jealous?
We are
That
in this material world.
we want to behave like Krishna. We are the controller.
Yeah. What is the proof?
Because we have landed here in the material world.
We are jealous of other living entities.
Yes. And therefore, practical answer. What is the proof that we are jealous of Krishna? We are jealous of other living beings, yes? And what more?
हम अपने आप को भोक्ता समझते अपने
We
आप
do not want to do any service for Krishna, right? Even among the devotees, we have to keep on pulling, give 1 hour, give 2 hours, right? We have to constantly check, are you chanting 16 rounds? Lucky we don't ask if you're following 4 principles. But sometimes we want to ask, where do you eat? And then we feel embarrassed that maybe people won't like it if we ask, where are you eating? Right? So these are the symptoms that we don't like Krishna. So we are envious of Krishna, jealous of Krishna. Mayavadi philosophers are jealous of the existence of the Supreme Person Godhead. Meaning they don't want him to exist. Can you imagine? Like when somebody kills another person, why is he killing that other person? Because he doesn't want that other person to exist. So he just kills him. So similarly, the Mayavadi philosopher, they kill Krishna. They say he doesn't exist. So therefore they're jealous of his existence. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra is not actually meant for them. So even though they really want to read Vedanta, but it's Vedanta Sutra is saying, by all the Vedas, to be known, Krishna is saying. So what do? They take the sutra and they twist it, turn it, and say, here we are, God doesn't exist. They unnecessarily poke their noses into the Vedanta Sutra, but they have no ability to understand it. So even though they are known as Vedantists, but actually they don't understand it. Why? Because And the author of Vedanta Sutra writes in his commentary. What is the commentary on Vedanta Sutra?
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So it is meant for those who are pure in heart. Parama Nirmatsaranam. If one is envious of Krishna, how can he understand the Vedanta Sutra or Srimad Bhagavatam? So what happened? As it is, they don't like Krishna. So what will they do? They'll open the book and they won't find Krishna in it. I've already discussed this point many times. So here Prabhupada is saying, if one is envious of Krishna, how can he understand the Vedanta Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam? The Mayavadi's primary occupation is to offend the Supreme Person Godhead Krishna. For example, so Prabhupada is saying that what do, these Mayavadis? Their work is only to offend Krishna. So what do? Although Krishna demands our surrender in the Bhagavad Gita, the greatest scholar and so-called philosopher in modern India has protested that it is not to Krishna that we have to surrender. No, it's not to Krishna that we have to surrender. Then we surrender to what? Therefore, he's envious. Since Mayavadis of all different descriptions, so meaning that there's not only one brand of Mayavadi. There's so many different brands of Mayavadi. And now we hope that you'll be able to identify who is a Mayavadi. When you meet a Mayavadi, you should be able to immediately say, oh, this person is a Mayavadi. And you should be able to identify the different descriptions, different brands, right? Therefore, he's envious. Since Mayavadis of all different descriptions are envious of Krishna, they have no scope for understanding the meaning of the Vedanta Sutra. So they take the book, they are reading it. You know, it is psychological. It's completely psychological. When somebody doesn't like you, all right? When somebody doesn't like you, you may have a friend who will show all your good qualities, who will show all your good work. But if somebody doesn't like you, that person will not hear or accept any good that you say about you. Is it true? Is it true?
True.
Who is saying false? True. All right. It's like, my whole life I have had to deal with this. It's like when two people in conflict, right? The one person who's finding fault with the other one wants to be the winner. That person has all faults and they will not accept that they may be wrong. So Mayavadis do like this. So what do? Even though Krishna is an ocean of good qualities, all right, they will not accept that Krishna is the Supreme Person Godhead. He exists with a form. They may go on hearing about him, but they fix Drita Vrata, fix vow, not to accept Krishna. So what do? So therefore, they cannot understand the meaning of Vedanta Sutra. Even if they were on the liberated platform as they falsely claim. So we say, we've read some other Vimukta Maninas. They imagine that they are liberated. Yes, we are liberated. They claim like this. Even if they were on the liberated platform as they falsely claim, love of Krishna is beyond the state of liberation. In fact, and repeated here by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. So what did he repeat? He repeated that love of Godhead is so exalted that it is considered to be the fifth goal of human life, meaning above mukti. By awakening one's love of Godhead, one can attain the platform of conjugal love, tasting it even during the present span of life. So, Mahaprabhu is saying that this love of Godhead, it can move up to Madhurya Ras. And even when we are living in this body, here Mahaprabhu is saying, if we follow the principles properly, we can also experience this Madhurya Ras. So this is a very tall claim Mahaprabhu is making this. If you follow the process of bhakti, you can experience Madhurya Ras. Krishnera Madhurya Ras. Karaya Ashwadham. We can taste the nectar of conjugal love also. It's very, very tall. Text 145. Prema hai te Krishna vai nija bhakta vash. Prema hai te pae Krishnera seva sukharas. Okay, who wants to read? Yes, sir. Okay, Devamati. Yeah.
প্রেম হইতে কৃষ্ণ হয় নিজ ভক্ত বাস প্রেম হইতে পায়
Oh, your
কৃষ্ণের
voice is
সেবা
breaking.
সুখরাস Translation. Hare Krishna. The Supreme Lord, who is greater than the greatest, becomes submissive to even a very insignificant devotee because of his devotional service. It is the beautiful and exalted nature of devotional service that the infinite Lord becomes submissive to the infinite single living entity because of it. In reciprocal devotional activities with the Lord, the devotee actually enjoys the transcendental mellow of devotional service. Purport. Becoming one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not very important for a devotee. Mukti Swayam Mukulitanjali Sevate Sman. Krishna Karnamrita 107. Speaking from his actual experience, Srila Bhila Mangala Thakur says that if one develops love of Godhead, mukti, liberation becomes subservient and unimportant to him. Mukti stands before the devotee and is prepared to render all kinds of services. The Mayavadi philosopher's standard of mukti is very insignificant for a devotee. For by devotional service, even the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes subordinate to him. An actual example is that the Supreme Lord Krishna became the chariot driver of Arjuna. And when Arjuna asked him to draw this chariot between the two armies, Senayor Ubhayor Mather Ratham Stapayami Chuta, Krishna executed his order. Such is the relationship between the Supreme Lord and a devotee, that although the Lord is greater than the greatest, he is prepared to render service to the insignificant devotee by the dint of his sincere and unalloyed devotional service. Mataji, you are mute.
We can't hear you.
Yeah. So prema haite Krishna hai nija bhakta vash. Bhakta vash, meaning that, what's the meaning of vash?
Control.
Control, yes. You know, I mean, this is in relationship. I saw that when somebody has to get married, when they do this kundli matching, they have to check what? What they have to check?
The gunas.
Yeah, what are they checking? One of the things they're checking is Vash. Who will control who? All right. Who will control who? So if they find that that's marriage, and here it is the same thing. Same thing. Who will control who? So the Mayavadis, they want to control Krishna. So what do? They become jealous of him and then put him out. All right. But when the devotee, they surrender to Krishna and they want Krishna to control him or her, then what happens here?
Krishna becomes submissive to them.
Krishna, he controls or she controls Krishna. Prema haite Krishna hai nija bhakta vash. He become under the control of the devotee. Prema haite pai Krishnena seva sukharas. Why? Why? Because this prema is causing seva sukharas. What does that mean? Seva sukharas.
He enjoys doing service to Krishna.
Yes, sukh, right? He is having some pleasure from it. Sukh. So this devotional service, translated as melu, there's ras in it. So the Supreme Lord, who is greater than the greatest, becomes submissive to even a very insignificant devotee because of his devotional service. Anyway, we have so many stories about this, about, this one devotee. He, and we are mixing up so many stories I have heard about Jagannath and his devotees. So maybe I will take one piece from here and another piece and put it all together, but you get the idea, all right? So somebody, wanted to offer coconut, okay? Wanted to offer coconut to Jagannath. But he was a Nija Bhakta, he was a small devotee, right? He was a insignificant devotee, but he was devotee of Krishna, all right? Jagannath. So take my coconut, all right? So he's supposed to give to the pujari, right? Supposed to give the pujari, and pujari will. No, Jagannath extended his hands and took the coconut from him. And he's one person in the crowd, right? He's one person in the crowd. So this Jagannath, he never blinks his eyes. When he comes out, he looks at everybody. And he notices each and every one. And when you want to offer him something, he says, give. And he will take himself. I told you the story of this Nishad boy, right? How I heard this story from one Maharaj. Oh, I'll tell it again. Insignificant person, that Kevat, no? So he had a son. Yeah, he had a son. Yeah, you know the story, Amrita Radhe?
Mataji, you had told in one of your classes that he had made some slippers for Lord Ram.
Yes.
And yeah, and because he thought Lord Ram has the same size as mine, he had also worn them.
He took his size and check it on his size, right?
Yes.
Then,
And then Lord Ram was going on a yatra, I believe.
no, he was coming out from his Gurukul. He was coming out from Gurukul. So Raja Dashrath was sitting there. He was on a large chariot. Yeah, then what happened?
Then he walked up to that boy, and then the boy actually made him wear the chappals.
Did he do
Mm.
that, boy? You know, everybody knows what happens in India when there is a huge crowd, right? You don't know how suddenly, this boy broke through all the security, everything, and jumped on the chariot of Ramachandra, right? And so everybody was taken by surprise. This boy has jumped on the chariot and he took out his shoe. From where's the shoe coming? You know, they are in the forest. So from the leather, because he thought, what is the most wealthy thing that I have is from the leather of those animals. And he has made the shoe. So what did Ramachandra do?
He wore it. He wore it.
He removed, okay? He removed those shoes, his royal shoes, because he's a prince, all right? He's a prince. He's riding on the chariot coming from Gurukul. So during that time, the entire Praja was allowed to come and take darshan of the king and the princess, or the four boys, right? So Ramachandra removed his golden shoes, his royal shoes, and put on the slippers of that boy, right? And then what did he do? So everybody, all the god was still ready to pounce on the boy. But what happened? Ramchandra embraced him. And then everybody had to step back. This is the story of the Nishad boy. So this boy conquered Krishna, conquered Ramachandra by his devotional service, by his bhakti. It is the beautiful and exalted nature of devotional service that the infinite Lord becomes submissive to the infinitesimal living entity because of it. So that love of that Nishad boy made Ramachandra remove his shoes and put on leather shoes, simple, homemade leather shoes. In reciprocal devotional activities with the Lord, the devotee actually enjoys the transcendental mellow of devotional service. So, mukti is not important because the devotee is already liberated. Speaking from his actual experience, Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur said that if one develops love of Godhead, mukti liberation becomes submissive and unimportant to him. Mukti becomes submissive and unimportant to him. Mukti stands before the devotee and is prepared to render all kinds of services. So the devotees are already liberated. What does that mean?
Mataji, just now you had said that they don't have material desires as well as they do not endeavor for anything material, so they are liberated.
They are liberated from themselves, right?
Mataji, but I have a question in this regard. Like, so we see devotees, and they are liberated, as in the exalted ones. What does it mean that they are not endeavoring for anything material? Are they not endeavoring to maintain their body? Or so basically, is it just the consciousness that I'm maintaining my body because this body is a gift of Krishna? I have to do so many services from
I'm not sure whether the body is a gift from Krishna, but it's our misfortune that we have grown a material body. So we are making the best use of it, right? So we take care of the body if we are in mode of goodness, right? We don't neglect the body. If we are in the mode of ignorance, we neglect the body, right? We smoke, we drink, we eat meat, we do all types of stuff, right? Which cause harm to the body. We have no rule and regulation. We have no good habits. So we neglect the body. And if the body falls sick, we don't bother to even try to come back to good health. It's more of ignorance, right? Someone who is in mode of goodness doesn't fall sick. The laws of nature acts that it breaks. And disease is a reaction to sinful activities. That's why we catch a disease, right? So when there is that suffering, then the devotee, what does the devotee do? Taptenu kampam susamikshamanu, right? They have to tolerate the result of past life misdeeds. And with old age, there is a natural breakdown of the body because it's going to die. The body has to die. So throughout life, a devotee is regulated. This is basic from Bhagavad Gita, right? Throughout life. And if we became only aware of our position in quarter life, midlife, or end of life, then whatever we have done, the way we have taken care of ourselves, or whatever lack of care we have done to ourselves, then the result comes. There is no complaint about this. I'm speaking of two extremes. So a devotee, he has no material attachment. He's like maintaining the body only for Krishna's sake. Where did we read that? Somewhere. Yeah, because we have best use of a bad bargain, right? Prabhupada writes again and again, making the best use of a bad bargain. The bad bargain is that we have been sufficiently foolish to grow a material body. All right. And now make the best use of it. So what do we do? So, okay, anyway, what to do? And we know that the body is bound to die. So we let the body die gradually. All right. Smooth, let it fall smoothly. We don't precipitate its fall. Oh God, I hope I'm explaining myself properly. Those who are doctors here, the two doctors here, you can tell me what I'm saying. Rashmi, Madhuri, Mamta, Mayu. Comment. Rashmi and Madhuri, Mamta. And your husband is a doctor, Amrita. So you must be half a doctor also.
That's not like that, Mataji. But yes, what you're saying is correct. In fact, I also now can recollect one of your previous comments, which was that doctors, like you mentioned right now, disease comes because of our past karma, but somehow doctors are mitigating that disease. And so what's happening to the karma which had actually come? Uh, is it that the suffering has now been postponed and it will eventually come? This is something that I heard, I think, in one of your previous classes.
Meaning, see, now we're speaking of karma, meaning that some karma are fixed and you can't change it, right? Whatever you may do, you can't change it, right? And some are like easily changed. With a little effort, it can be changed. And some karma can be mixed, meaning some percentage is fixed and some percentage can be changed. Doctors are simply the instruments for your karma. But the point that I'm making here, speaking about mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, you have choice. You have choice how to deal with your disease. You have 100% choice how to deal with it. For example, are you ready to follow a diet? Doctors are here. How many people are ready to follow a diet? She's saying no, right? Some people say, don't even tell me about diet. Let me not even know about it. Right? So devotees, because they know that they have to serve Krishna, the purpose of life is serve Krishna, therefore they take care of the body. But if we are Mayavadis, then we don't care about the body. See the extreme? Those who are in mode of ignorance don't care about the body. The Mayavadis also don't care about the body. Why? Because they have the philosophy, everything is false. Whereas bhaktas, they know the principle of what?
Yukta Vairagya.
Yukta Vairagya.
Mataji, I have one more question. Can I ask right now?
Yes.
Mataji, with regards to modes, sometimes I feel that uh, people read shastras and take out lessons also on the basis of the modes that drive them. Even Prabhupada books, I mean, this is maybe I'm wrong, but this is my observation that sometimes people take out those points from Prabhupada's teachings, like, oh, this material world is actually just a miserable place, and they just, you know, keep themselves depressed despite of being engaged in devotional service or chanting the holy names. On the other hand, some people I've seen that, even if they are going through difficulties, but like one Bangladeshi devotee I had met, and I was so inspired that despite of the massive trouble that they have in their lives, they simply see it as Krishna's mercy, and you know they are so enthusiastic about serving Guru and Krishna despite of the tough situation that they live in, day out. So my observation basically, I don't know if I want to understand if it's correct or not. That sometimes we read shastras and take out lessons depending upon the modes that we are in. Is that correct understanding?
Yeah, so therefore Shastra should be studied with a teacher, with a guide, right?
Okay, ma'am.
So it is like some people, they only want to be pessimistic, like Buddhist, right? Pessimistic. And some people are optimistic. So Prabhupada said that we should be pessimistic about the material world, but we should be optimistic about Krishna consciousness. So that we have earned a material body with all its troubles, all right? With all its troubles. So we have to deal with it. At the same time, we are optimistic that Krishna has promised that he will take us back home, back to Godhead. The Acharyas have promised. And we look forward. So this beautiful verse, I keep chanting this, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashanti Surayo Diva Chakshurakatam. This Rig Ved Prabhupada keeps quoting this. That those who are spiritually awake, they are seeing the abode of Vishnu, and they don't let their gaze off the abode of Vishnu. So even while they're living this material world, their focus, their mind is on the abode of Vishnu. So it doesn't mean that the Brahmanas are not suffering, right? Everybody is suffering. But their gaze is fixed on the abode of Vishnu. So when they are going through all their work, their mind is fixed. So we'll stop here. So another topic will start from text 146. Is it okay, or is there anything more? I mean, I thought it was such a simple purport, but so many questions came up, huh? And only 2-3 verses.
No, thank you, Mataji. It does clear a lot of things for me, but I'm sure I'll have more questions in the next session also.
Okay, anyway, if you have anything more, we have a few minutes. If you have anything more, anybody? Radha, you want to say something?
No, it's okay. I think quite clear up to now.
Yeah. See, it's very difficult to be a devotee. Extremely difficult to be a devotee. It's very easy to be a Mayavadi. If we escape sense gratification, and the next step is to be a Mayavadi. But following that Mayavad philosophy causes so much pain to both the body, the mind, and to the soul, because it is not real. Maya means not real. So if you just say your body is not real, right? You just say everything is Maya, your body also is Maya, it's not real, and you deal with your body as if it's not real, then of course there's going to be major suffering.
Mataji, I have a question.
Yeah.
Mataji, in the 4 Purusharthas, now this mukti, which is talked about, so this mukti stands for the Sayujya mukti, merging into Krishna. But so this the Salokya mukti, where you want to be with Krishna in his dham. We all say, we want to go back home, back to Godhead. So that is Salokya mukti. So then what is the harm in mukti? Because we are all this, whatever sadhana we are doing, we want to be with Krishna. Unless we are with him, how will we serve him? So what's harm?
Yeah, so here, see, on the level of Purusharth, some people think that, just getting my daughters and sons married is mukti. I'm free from the burden of, now these days, people don't even think like that. People think, go and find your partner yourself. But in Purusharth, dharma, artha, moksha, a parent really took the trouble, to think this is my family duty. So this is one type of mukti. Or if we're diseased and we become free from that disease, we say, oh, I'm mukt, right? So this is one type of mukti. And now the Mayavadis, they're thinking, if I'm freed altogether of the body, gross and subtle, I'm free completely. This is mukti, relief from suffering, right? But then here, that's going to be introduced gradually about those Vaishnav mukti that is accepted. So this merging in Brahman and just, floating around in the white light or whatever. So many different types of philosophies have come up about when you become free, what do you do? You just hang around in the air. You hang around in Brahma Jyoti. What happens? So many different types of philosophies have come up. But the main thing that I'm free from suffering, whether it is Buddhist, whether it's Jain, whether it is Mayavad.
Oh, but her question was, what's the wrong in wanting to be, like serving Krishna in his dham?
Yes, so that's
That's
what I'm
biology
explaining.
of mukti.
Yes, so I'm explaining it in a different level of mukti. Now I'm speaking of the first level of mukti, meaning just being free. Here, in this Purushartha, usually unless they get the indication from a pure devotee who will tell them of another type of mukti, they'll have no idea. So here Mahaprabhu is speaking of the Prema Pumarto Mahan. He's saying the fifth artha is this prema. And in that prema consists of mukti in different rasas. So above this mukti, meaning of going out of the bodily conception, above that. So this is the fifth Panchama Purushartha, Se Prema Mahadhan. Krishnera Madhurya Rasa Karai Ashvadan. So, four Purusharths, meaning there is the idea of relief from misery, whereas the Mukti, the Panchama Purushartha, which is love of Krishna, which automatically includes liberation, mukta, from the material body, both gross and subtle. Then it will develop in different rasas. Is it okay?
So at the moment only this merging into Brahman, becoming free from suffering, mukta from suffering has been introduced.
Yes.
Then later we'll learn about Vaishnav Mukti.
Yes, so here the beginning is coming on text 144. So Mahaprabhu is saying that, no, there is something beyond that mukti. Because all the Mayavadi sannyasis here, Prakashananda Saraswati, the only thing on mukti. Right? So he's saying, no, there is something beyond mukti. You only want to merge in Brahman. But prema is the real mukta. And that does make sense. Just an ordinary example, like this girl, she's a marriageable age, and all the time she's only thinking about, okay, if I'm going to get married, then I should be prepared for this, and then I should work. I shouldn't let them do this. Then I ask her, what is going on? Are you entering the house of your enemy or what? So you're preparing yourself for a battle. That's how you're going to enter a marriage, right? You're all geared up. You're all geared up to enter into a battlefield, right? She was so shocked, right? So unfortunately, this is how the world is going on right now. So this is different. When you're entering a relationship from Krishna, you're actually mukta, right? You're mukta of this anxiety that I'm going to enter the home of my enemy. And I have to protect myself from so many calamities that may or may not happen. So this is prema. I'm just giving an example, we can relate to. So this mukta, relief, if all the boys and girls can just relax, and think that I can make a good partnership and I can live a peaceful life. This is mukta, right? So when we are entering a relationship with Krishna, I need to first be relieved of this false notion that Krishna is my enemy. Right? Mayavadis consider Krishna my enemy, so they don't want to serve him. So you could say that for the devotees, the first level of mukti is giving up the inhibition that Krishna is my enemy and I don't want to serve him. Anyway, I'm going too much. But I hope you're getting some idea. All right.
Okay.
That was a brilliant example, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Those who are married.
We are living life, right? Every day. So,
Very practical.
yeah, because see, we may read the book and say, oh, Mayavadis hate Krishna. Mayavadis are enemies with Krishna. I'm just giving you practical example. How we are living in this world. So therefore, devotional service is extremely important, both materially and spiritually. If we can actually be devotees and if we are able, by good luck, we are in families of devotees, and we can learn to live little peacefully. Little peacefully. This family life is causing so much trouble these days. So much trouble. Anyway, so I heard Radhanath Maharaj saying that this Kali Yuga the best of all times, because everybody knows we are unhappy in this world. In other yugas, we thought we are happy, but in Kali Yuga, everybody knows we are not happy, right? So therefore, we may endeavor to come out, but only those who are most intelligent will endeavor to come out. And others, they will just accept the miserable condition and adjust to it. Or they'll commit suicide. Only two things to do, adjust to it or commit suicide. For the majority of people, they just adjust. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone.
Jai Kripa. Krishna. So we'll see you next week.